AVC, welcome to another Thursday night roundtable with the Four Horsemen. We are here tonight to talk about ZZ Top, our top 10 ZZ Top songs. I am joined always with Gary from Physical Format Rock and Roll, Chris Prophy from Chris Prophy Musically Obsessed, and Aaron Mutha Alamere. And we were talking a little bit ahead of time. You know, ZZ Top, for Aaron and myself, they weren't really on my radar until the video started popping up on MTV for the Eliminator album. Give Me All Your Lovin' and Got Me Under Pressure and Sharp Dressed Man, you know, and you had the guys in the beards and the fancy car, which was such a staple of their videos. And that was kind of the gateway for me. And I would go back and I didn't realize that there was actually any ZZ Top before Eliminator. And then it was like, oh, that song was ZZ Top, or oh, that song was ZZ Top. I didn't realize, you know, I heard those songs on the radio, but I just didn't realize they were ZZ Top. They were kind of like classic rock staples, you know, like Lagrange, for example, is one of them. Cheap Sunglasses, or you know, any of those early hits. But you know, very unfortunately, Dusty Hill passed away in the last week. He was a bassist and accordion player for ZZ Top. So definitely this video is partly to pay tribute to him. But we're going to go through our top 10. We're going to start with our number 10 through number 6. And the first one up to bat is Gary. So you want to start us off?
Yeah. Okay. My number 10 is a song that I personally love, but I know it kind of represents the ZZ Top that a lot of people hate. Because it kind of has some of those 80s effects going on in it. There's a little bit of electronic drums, some synthesizer going through it, but I still think it's a great song. And that's Sleeping Bag. Ooh. I love that song. I love the way it has like this swirling effect through the whole song. It just glides or something. And it's another one of those songs that Billy Gibbons and Dusty Hill are both singing. You know, they've got a few songs like that where they both sing different lines, and that's one of them. And I just think it's just a fun song. You know, obviously it's not on the top of my list, but when I was going through this list, I thought I can't help but not put this on my list. So it made it number 10, Sleeping Bag. Number 9 goes back further, and that is Just Got Paid. I just think that has such a cool kind of funky, hard riff to it. And when it first starts out, the bass is playing along with the guitar line, and they don't really do that a whole lot. And it just made it like a real heavy sound at the beginning of that song. And they just kind of continue that groove through it. And, you know, I mean, then Dusty goes where he's just, you know, more keeping the rhythm. But they go back and forth to that every now and then. It's a cool effect. You know, it just doubles up that sound. It's really heavy. And it's got a nice little slide solo in there too. Number 8, this is Aaron's theme song. And that would be Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. You know, it's got a real fuzzy guitar in there. It's kind of a little bit different guitar sound than what they, you know, you think of ZZ Top as being a band that kind of stays the same, but they really don't. You know, they change their sound from time to time, and I think this one has a unique sound to it. And it's another song where both the guys are singing on it, and it's just a classic rock song. Number 7 is this makes my list because it's kind of special to me in a way. It's off the Recycler album, and it's Heads in Mississippi. I love that song. You know, I'm shuffling through that Texas sand, but my head's in Mississippi. I just love that sound of that and that guitar. At that time, when that song came out, I saw the Recycler tour, and that was kind of their last big tour where they had a whole bunch of stuff on stage. I mean, it was they had like a whole junkyard theme that went with that stage show. It was crazy. I couldn't believe all the stuff and at one point they had all these girls on stage dancing that were dressed like construction workers. They used a couple different drum sets. They had in that song, when it, my head's in Mississippi, it's got that line in there where he says, last night I dreamed I saw a naked cowgirl floating across the ceiling. Well, they had laser lights, and they had a cowgirl on the ceiling of the place dancing around. They turned into, like when you take a car and you crush it into a cube. They did that with themselves. These cubes came out and it was just their heads sticking out in their guitar head. And then they kind of bust out of it and they start playing. And it just, the whole thing was really cool. And that song makes me think of that time, and the fact that around that time is when I got into blues really heavy. Because like when the 80s ended and the hair band thing was coming to where it was kind of over the top ridiculous, I got out of that a bit. And before I got into any of the grunge bands, I got really heavy into blues. So that song, My Head's in Mississippi, really fit with it. They mentioned Howlin' Wolf in there. And they have the Delta Blues Museum, which is down in Clarksdale, Mississippi. And ZZ Top helped fund that thing. They kind of promoted it. So it was all tied together. So that's why that's a long explanation of that song. I'm sorry, but that's why it means a lot to me. Number 6, this is a song that probably really, like you guys were talking about the videos, introduced a lot of people, but it's Give Me All Your Lovin'. I just, I love that sound, that guitar when it starts out, and he's like, I got to have a shot. That sound right there, man, that is just awesome. That is kick-ass. I go back and forth on those Eliminator songs. There's some of them I get tired of. I come back to. I've been tired of this song before, but look at that, man. He's got the 45. But right now, when I was going through this list, I thought, no, man, that's the song off of there that, really still gets me going. I just think it's a great song. So that's my 10 through 6. What's that?
That drumming on that song just is infectious. Give Me All Your Lovin'. Starts out with that drumming. It's just kick. Yeah, I love it.
It's great. That's my first 5 picks there.
Am I up?
Yep, you're up, Chris.
It's so funny, Gary, because, and I'm not making this up, our first 2 choices were the same. And I'm like, all right, let's make it 3, but you didn't follow suit. But my number 10 is Sleeping Bag off of Afterburner. And like you were saying, I mean, I love the electronic drums in the beginning. I don't know. I love that 80s production. It's probably because I'm a kid of the 80s. It's got this driving beat. Around this time too, I like the sound of the crunchy guitars. They got more of like a hard rock sound of their guitars that I love. And production. It's like a crisp, clean production. I love it. So Sleeping Bag is number 10. And then my number 9 was Just Got Paid off of Rio Grande Mud. I wrote here guitar riff, just bluesy. I didn't realize, and for anybody watching right now, I knew ZZ Top pretty much for Eliminator, and I've been going back and listening to their early stuff now, and I didn't realize that they were as bluesy as they are. And it's really refreshing and kind of neat to listen to their early stuff too. So it's almost like a new band for me, discovering the early stuff. Number 8, I'm going with Neighbor Neighbor off the first album. It's just got this dirty, groovy riff to it. And I like the Steve Miller Band a lot, and I get sort of a Steve Miller Band vibe with that tune. And it's got kind of a unique rhythm to the lyrics too. I just love that song. Number 7, off of Tejas, I'm going with Pan Am Highway Blues. And it's just great rock and roll. And I love there's a slide guitar solo in it that sounds really cool. And then my number 6, this is funny because I'm going to mention this a couple times. I heard the cover version of some of these songs before I heard the original. And my number 6 is Rough Boy. Now, Danzig covered Rough Boy on his album Skeletons. It's a covers record. And I never realized it was a ZZ Top song. And I was like, holy shit, that's a ZZ Top song. And I loved it when Danzig sang it. And then I heard ZZ Top's version. I'm like, okay, I like ZZ Top better. But I love the ballad. It's maybe, I mean, I'm not an expert on ZZ Top, but it could be like, isn't it like one of their only ballads? I mean, I've been listening to a lot of their stuff, and Rough Boy seems to be unique in their catalog.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so that's my number 6, Rough Boy.
cool.
Yeah.
I like both of your selections a lot. They were all good. Now, for me, I discovered ZZ Top when Eliminator came out, but for my whole life, the Beatles had been my favorite band. And then I discovered Eliminator, and I went back and got the best of ZZ Top, discovered Tres Hombres and Fandango and their early stuff, and they became my second band that was my favorite band. So since I was like 13 years old, between 13 and 16, they were my favorite band. So I listened to them a lot, always loved them. My third concert I ever saw was on the Afterburner tour, and it was similar to that, where they had it was the inside of a spaceship. I mean, inside of a car, like a dashboard, and all the lights went out, and they had all the lasers, and then it turned into the inside of a spaceship. Really cool stage show. They had all the lasers, like the girls and all that too when I saw them. But so I'm a huge ZZ Top fan, and my number 10 is a two-parter. It's the only cheat I'll do, Jeff. Sorry, man. So it's the only reason I put this as a two-part song is because it's one of those songs where I can't hear it without hearing the next one. And that is Waiting for the Bus and Jesus Just Left Chicago. They just flow together. It's like almost one song, really. It's like a two-part, like kind of, like Queen did with We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You type of thing, where it just flows into it. And I just love Waiting for the Bus. One of my very favorites, really gritty, just bluesy rock song. And then Jesus Just Left Chicago is just, I just love those songs so much because they just, it reminds me of back when I first discovered them, listening to Tres Hombres. And they've always been two of my favorite songs, even though they're not my favorite on this record. I'll have another one, but, or two. But so that's my number 10. My number 9 is from this, and it's Nasty Dogs and Funky Kings.
Oh, wow.
First side too. I love that song. It's just really different for them. It is a little funky. It's a little hard edged, and I just love that song. You know, what are you gonna do when whatever. I'm babbling, but Nasty Dogs and Funky Kings is my number 9. Number 8, going from their debut, one of the best songs, and it's about drugs. It's called Brown Sugar from ZZ Top's first album. Second song on the record, amazing bluesy guitar. And it's interesting, actually, Jimi Hendrix at one point was asked who his favorite guitarist was, and he said Billy Gibbons. I don't know where that was. I've heard that. I don't know if it's made up story or not. But
I think Billy Gibbons probably said that.
Yeah. But, Billy Gibbons is just so great. And, Dusty Hill, I just love Brown Sugar. It's a great song from this record. Probably my favorite from this record, even though, Certified Blues is really close. But this is a great blues record. It's just a hard blues record.
No love for the song Neighbor Neighbor?
Yeah, I love that one too. I love every song. Every song on their first 4 albums, I absolutely love. And I really like all their other stuff. Eliminator and their first 4 are my favorites. But I love every one of their songs. For number 7, going back to this album. No. What am I doing? Back to Fandango again with Tush. Just that guitar, it's so killer. And every time I hear that, I think of Dazed and Confused when they're playing it in that. Even though I'd heard that song way before, I just always loved that song. And that's one or two songs from this they used in Days and Confused. Also Balinese, which is a great one. But Tush is my number 7. And for number 6, one of my favorite songs from this album, Bad Girl. The last song on the album, one of their heaviest songs they ever did. And I love the guitar. I love the heaviness of it. It's I've always just loved Bad Girl so much. I think it's should have been a single even, but you know, that's just how it is. So there's my 10 through 6.
Awesome picks.
It's interesting. I don't think any of us would be speaking Spanish if it wasn't for ZZ Top. I mean, Tres Hombres and Tejas.
Big Whale, yeah.
Afterburner.
Rio Grande Mud. I know.
Eliminator.
I would, dude. If it wasn't for ZZ Top, I don't think I could go to Taco Bell.
Yeah, their album Chimichanga.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that Trace was 3. Yeah, so
Yeah, well,
Is that 3 friends or 3 brothers? Hombres are that's friends, right? Or just 3 men? I don't know Spanish, so
three
I don't know.
brothers. I don't know.
3 lovers.
3 guitar players. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna if anyone's gonna take liberties with his choices, so I can't imagine these songs separate. So my number 10 pick is gonna be side 1 of Eliminator.
great choice.
Yeah,
Give Me All Your Lovin', Got Me Under Pressure, Sharp Dress. I mean, it's like a medley, really. So
like Abbey Road.
yeah, exactly. But no, seriously, I'm gonna pick Got Me Under Pressure. And I just realized this now. I did not realize, but I've got a Canadian pressing of which is pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, Got Me Under Pressure. I like that one a lot. I love that line. She likes cocaine. Just sort of like, yeah, she does. But yeah, it's just a real hard rocking track. I don't know. I've always just something about that. She likes cocaine. Anyway, I like that track a lot. And that one that's gonna be running through my head the rest of this video. But
I mean, who doesn't like cocaine, right?
Yeah. Well, and then for my next one, I'm gonna be the third person on Just Got Paid. And I thought this was gonna be like, nobody's gonna pick this song. I know, I'm gonna be unique in this, but obviously I wasn't. From Rio Grande Mud. Love that gritty track. Number 8, My Head's in Mississippi. Again, great pick, guys. Love that one. I love Gary's impression, how Gary sung that. It sounds so much like the record.
Oh, there'll be more to come.
Yeah. And then I hope so. I'm looking forward to it. And then also from this one, I am going with, but I'm just going with Jesus Left Chicago. I didn't realize I could get a bonus track on here.
They just go right into each other.
Yeah.
Sure they do.
They do.
But yeah, I don't know. Jesus Left Chicago is great song. And my number 6 is Tush, also from this record. And that was one of the songs I hear it on the radio, and I didn't realize till much later that was ZZ Top. I had no idea who that was. I remember hearing it way before I ever heard anything off Eliminator and just not knowing who it was. And then later, I'm like, that's ZZ Top? Really? Wow. I didn't realize that was them. But yeah.
What the hell does Tush mean?
It's
I think it's
tush.
Tush, yeah.
Oh,
Tush
yeah.
for your butt, for a girl's
Oh.
butt. I'm
You
just
guys
looking
keep-
for some ass.
yeah, but you guys keep saying Tush.
Well, that's how
Well,
he
Aaron's
pronounced
trying to
it.
be kind, I think.
I messed it up.
We're trying to keep it family friendly. I like to have a family friendly video.
I was wondering if they were trying to copy Fleetwood Mac Tusk.
Could be.
That's kind of like Mutha. I always said Tush instead of, like I said, Mutha instead of mother. So that's.
But that's
I
the
guess
most.
I corrected myself.
That's the most kick-ass boogie song, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, it's just great. I love it. It's,
And that's another Dusty Hill lead vocal on that one.
Yep. No, he's a great vocalist, and
Yeah.
so much personality in his vocals, and just the style that they had is great. So that's my bottom 5. So now, Gary, 5 through number 2.
All right. Number 5. Now that we're in here, I got to put these on because it's ZZ Top.
Mine
I got 25 lighters on my dresser. Yes, sir. You know I got to get paid. I love that song, man. I got to get paid. I know it's a remake. I'm not sure who did it before. I think it was a rap song or something. But
Rod McEwen did it.
Rod McEwen, probably, yeah. They did a great version of that. That's later era ZZ Top. I kind of want to pick something later era. I love that song. It's cool. It translates. Both my sons like that song. We talked about the early ZZ Top being real bluesy. And then they kind of started going back to that more later on, kind of going back to their roots. And so that's my number 5 pick. I got to get paid. Now we're just doing number 5, right?
Oh, 5 through 2.
5 through 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot the rules. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
One more
my
mistake
number 4,
and you're off this.
Damn it. Number 4. I did the same thing Aaron did with this song. I put Waiting for the Bus and Jesus Left Chicago as one song.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear it on the radio, they always play it that way.
Oh, yep.
Have mercy. I mean, how can you not love that song? And, the way it changed, and when they do it live, they always do it together.
Mm-hmm.
They go right into that. Jesus Left Chicago, man. He's going down to New Orleans. So that's my number 4 song. We've already talked about it. Number 3, he's cruising down the highway in his new Cadillac. He's got a fine Fox up front. He's got 3 more in the back because he's bad. He's nationwide. I love that song, man. That is ZZ Top just being badasses, man. Just being cool. That's what ZZ Top is. They are this cool, badass band. And that song, man, every time I hear that song, I love it. I've heard that song a million times, and I still think it's fantastic. It's still just so cool. Just a cool sounding song. Number 2, I think Jeff already picked this one. Well, I know he did, but I love this song. You Got Me Under Pressure. That's just, such a great song. She don't like other women. She likes whips and chains. There's so many lyrics in her, she's going to get out her nightstick and beat me real, real bad. The song cracks me up too. I mean, not just is it super cool and a badass song, but it's funny at the same time. ZZ Top was able to do that. They, their videos, they obviously had a good sense of humor about themselves. And, they had songs like Tube Steak Boogie and Pearl Necklace, for God's sakes. So they obviously had a sense of humor. So anyway, that's my number 2 is You Got Me Under Pressure.
All right. Well,
Christopher.
Yes. Hello, gentlemen. Got my pen. I'm ready to school y'all. Yeah, I'm the last person to school people on ZZ Top. Number 5, I think Gary mentioned the song Sharp Dressed Man.
No, he did not.
Okay. I guess I haven't been listening too well. Did any of you mention Sharp Dressed Man?
Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, hey, number 5, Sharp Dressed Man. Love that tune.
Great song.
Number 4, as I said when I was talking before, a lot of these songs I heard the cover version first. Now, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers, that's my number 4. Do you guys know that Motorhead covered that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great freaking song. It sounds like a Motorhead song.
Yeah.
Off of Tres Hombres. And again, there's the for you. Yeah, there we go. Number 3. I don't know if anybody's mentioned this song, Cheap Sunglasses. Love this tune. And here's some more Spanish for you, off of Degüello. Notice how I pronounce the double L as a Y, Degüello. Hey, what does Degüello mean anyways?
I don't know.
I thought you was going to tell us. That's why you showed.
Oh yeah, I'll have to look it up. But I like when the instruments drop out and I can't do Gary's voice, but go get yourself some cheap sunglasses. I just love that.
Yeah. That's
Number
great.
2. Now I think Gary mentioned this song. Give Me All Your Lovin'.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 2, off of Eliminator. Give Me All Your Lovin'. There you go. I don't have great stories to tell like Gary does, but those are the songs I like.
The music sells.
This helps with your stories.
So do
I remember being a Boy Scout.
And my scoutmaster said,
My scoutmaster would pull out Afterburner, and before we would go to sleep, we'd listen to Sleeping Bag. And yeah, I'm not going to go any further.
So degüello actually means the act of beheading or throat cutting.
Oh, really?
Well, that's horrible.
Yeah. Maybe it's like, when they have like guitar things where they're cutting heads.
Cutting heads, yeah. Good one, Aaron. Yeah.
I tell you what, now I'm thinking of my Scoutmaster as a kid. This is just messing. I'm sorry. I gotta take a break.
A big long beard.
Sorry to re-traumatize you, Chris. But
I'm back. I just needed a cookie.
You're nationwide now. All right, am I up?
Yep.
Yes.
So my number 5, I've always loved this song, but my favorite band just covered it, and it made me rethink of how much I really love this song. It's Precious and Grace from Tres Hombres. I love that song. And Clutch, on their last record, did a version of it. And every time I hear Clutch do it, they're both interchangeable, how great they are. And that song is really heavy. It's just a great song. Tres Hombres, Precious and Grace. Those lyrics are talking about supernatural and weird stuff like that. And I never really put that together until I heard Clutch do it. So even though I'd heard that song for my whole life. Number 4, from Tres Hombres again, The Amazing Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers. And I've always loved that because of the back and forth singing and because I love beer so much. And, and I always loved the movie Hellraiser. So, I always like to drink beer while watching Hellraiser. And, I just love that song. It's one of my favorite ZZ Top songs, obviously. Number 3. Now, I was going to go.
You mean Trace?
I was going to go with Got Me Under Pressure because that's like one of their heaviest songs. But I'm changing it just because you guys have used it. And I'm going from Afterburner. And this song was my favorite song when I was a teenager. And it actually, if you listen to it, has one of the very best riffs that Billy Gibbons ever did. And it's Woke Up With Wood. I love that song. The lyrics are a bit different, but the guitar riff on that is just so killer. And if you go back and listen to Woke Up With Wood, the guitar riff on it, it's one of Billy Gibbons' very best. And so I switched it up because, I have a list of 30 here. Any of these 30 could have made my top 10.
that song is actually that song
What's that?
based when Billy Gibbons slept on the Rolling Stones tour bus. And he woke up right next to Ron Wood, apparently. So it's got nothing, it doesn't have the sexual connotations that people think it does, but
Yeah.
Well, and thank you for saying that, Jeff, because that was another one of my Scoutmaster's favorite songs. So you set my mind at ease. Thank you.
yeah, well, I'm
I was
glad.
pretty naive when I first heard it, and I just love that riff so much. It just grabbed me, and I just always love that song. It's just, seriously, listen to that guitar riff. It is amazing. So number 2, Just Got Paid love Just Got Paid. It's always been one of my very favorite ZZ Top songs. Got me a pocket full of change. It's just, every time I hear it, I love it more, even though I've heard it thousands of times. I never get sick of it. It's always been one of my very favorite early songs of them. And this whole album this is my favorite album, even though only one of the songs made my top 10, but I just love this album. You know, stuff like Barbecue and Cocoa Blue and Chevrolet almost made my list. Francine. And Just Got Paid is just amazing. Love it.
And for anyone keeping score out there, Rio Grande means big river.
And it's also the river that separates Texas.
What does mud mean?
That's Spanish for fly.
And it's also, if you add a B, it's backwards for dumb.
Spanish fly, yeah.
Very cool. Well, we should have Spanish captions on this video.
Hey,
Yeah, because
Jeff,
when you
Jeff,
think-
did you think of that Ron Wood thing off the top of your head, or did you have that ready?
No, it was just, I don't know. I just,
he's a comic genius.
Up with Wood was coming up, so I doubt he had it ready.
it was either going to be Roy Wood from The Move or Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones. That was,
Very good.
yeah.
Or Woody Harrelson could have made an appearance. They're talking about basketball.
Yeah. All right. My number 5. This is my favorite ZZ Top album. So a lot of the rest of my list is going to come off of here, but I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide. And I think what I really like the interplay between the keyboards and the guitar on that track. Especially kind of at the end where they sort of cut loose and kind of do a little jam. But yeah, it's just such a, like a bragging kind of song and, kind of asserting his, masculinity or whatever you want to call it. But it's just a real cool track. Number 4 is Lagrange, which is off Three Hombres. Another great album. Might be overplayed a little bit in the 70s on classic rock radio, but I don't care. I think it's one of their best songs. Number 3, back to this album, I Thank You.
Yeah.
Sam and Dave cover, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, great lead off track for this album. What's that?
That was a Van Halen song?
No, Sam and Dave. Yeah. Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth.
That was good, Aaron. I like that.
Well, the Sam and Dave tour took their name from the original Sam and Dave.
That was a great tour. I saw that.
Yeah. But anyway, this isn't a Van Halen video, so I digress. But, very cool one. And number 2, Waiting for the Bus.
Yeah.
Separated them out, like that track a little bit. And yeah, I think we already talked about that one enough, but yeah, great lead off track. And that's what?
Waiting for the Bus to Lay Cadillac.
Oh, yeah. So, all right, down to our number 1.
Okay, so before I give my number 1, since this is always such a sausage fest here, I figured I would ask my wife. I said, what's your favorite ZZ Top song? And so I'm going to list her song just for the heck of it. Her favorite ZZ Top song, she said, is Sharp Dressed Man. So that's my wife's number 1 pick. I just wanted to throw that one in there, which is a great song. Didn't quite make my list, but I think
That
that's
was my
only
number
because
5. Number 5.
Yeah. I love that song. It's just, when
Just
see,
missed.
Aaron's got it. He's got it right there to
I
left.
love it.
It's almost there. So my number 1 song has been mentioned, but this is like the ultimate tribute to John Lee Hooker, and that's Lagrange. I mean, the whole beginning part, the way he's doing the vocals, and it just got the drum, and then that whole song, that whole riff is just a John Lee Hooker riff that they add distortion to. That's any John Lee Hooker song.
It's a great
You know,
highway.
that whole song is, but it's not a ripoff. You know, I call that a homage to him. You know, I think it's great. And, you know, I think they're just kind of paying tribute to John Lee Hooker. And it is just a fantastic song. You know, it has that change in there, you know, toward the, like, you know, 3/4 of the way. They do a key change and then they go into these different solos and stuff. But then they come out of all that and they go right back in. The timing on that thing is fantastic, man. The drumming on that song, you were talking about drums earlier. You know, when they go into one segment to another, you know, that boom, and then they hit it, boom, you know, just like that, man. That's having your shit down, man. When you can do that kind of stuff, and they can do that live. You know, they had obviously been playing that song. They knew it. It's a fantastic song. I know, you know, like, you know, you said, Jeff, it's maybe been overplayed a bit, but to me, I guess I haven't gotten tired of it. So
Yeah, it still sounds fresh. And yeah, the money shot for me, like you say, is that middle part where it's like, yeah, and then they do it. It's so cool. It's so good. So many great moments in that song. And, you know, it's just like effortless. You know, they execute it so well. It's a great track. Like you say, it's a great John Lee Hooker homage, but damn, it kicks ass. And it's a great highway song too. Like when you're, you know, barreling down the highway, there's no better song to play than that one, you know, going 90 miles an hour and Lagrange blasting out the top of the control. It's great. Yeah.
With a keg in the back seat.
Yeah. And your Scoutmaster beside you.
Yeah. Scoutmaster Jim.
Yeah. Your Scoutmaster on your lap. Yeah.
Yeah.
But very cool. Great.
All right. Well, my number one's been mentioned already, but it's off of Degüello, or the Beheading album. It's I'm Bad, I'm Nationwide. That's my number one. I love that tune. And one of my favorite country singers covers that tune. Dwight Yoakam does a cover.
I forgot that. He does. He did do
Yeah.
that.
And that's actually the first time I actually heard that song. So
Oh, really?
a lot of people have covered ZZ Top. I didn't realize. Motorhead, Dwight Yoakam. You said Clutch covered?
Yep. Precious and Grace. Yep. And Danzig.
Yeah, so Danzig, yeah. So a lot of people have covered ZZ Top. So that's my number one.
Nice.
Nice pick. Love that song.
My number one, I was going to go Velcro Fly, but I decided I like that song, but I'm going to go with, do you remember back in 1966, Country Jesus, Blue Blues, that's where I learned my licks. It's Heard It on the X. Maybe their fastest song they've ever done. And I just love that song. The great lyrics. It's about a Mexican radio station, I believe. And I just love that song, Heard It on the X. My number one. And just those lyrics, how he sings it, I love it. And the guitar riff, really fast-paced song. Like I said, probably the fastest song they ever did. And I don't know if anyone's ever covered that one, which is surprising. But this is such a great record. I love Fandango almost as much as first Fandango.
Yeah, well, it's one side live, one side studio.
And the live album side of it is great too, with the Backdoor medley, the Backdoor Love Affair, Mellow Down Easy, and Long Distance Boogie. That is so good. Just I almost put that as one of my songs, actually, is that medley, the 9.5-minute medley. But since I already did the 2-part song, I decided not to do that.
That's
Thank
a
you.
good choice.
Yeah, that's one of the best. It's only a half a side, but that's one of the best live recordings I think that's ever been put on record, is the live side of this. I think it's amazing. Starting with Thunderbird, I just love it.
Is that the tour that they did where they had all the animals on stage and everything?
I'm not sure. I was like 4 or 5 when this came out.
Well, I mean, I didn't see it either, but it's smart ass. But I kind of remember reading about it. You know, they had this tour where they had you know, all these animals with them that they brought along and had them on stage and all kinds of stuff.
It's
And I don't know if that's what Fandango is, the live side, if it's from that tour or not.
Was that when they toured with Wasp?
This is
Herb
before.
Alpert.
Well, F like a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, heard it on the X though. Check that song out if you don't know it. It's a great song.
Yeah, I know it. That is a great song.
All right. My number one, going back to the DeGuello album, is Cheap Sunglasses. And the thing that I love, like the rest of the song kicks ass, but for me, it's that middle section where it's just the keyboard. Yeah, that like every time. That's the reason why. It's just so cool. It's like so out of left field. Like, where did that come from? Like, they didn't have to put that in the song at all. Doesn't need to be there, but I think it's the coolest moment in the song. And it's just so otherworldly to me. Just the whole, you know, you got that fat bass thumping, you know, and then you got the keyboards, and it's just, damn, I love ZZ Top so much, but I had to put that number one. Absolutely my favorite ZZ Top song, and I think everybody else had it as part of their list, right? Maybe not you, Eric.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I mean, I love that song.
21.
It's not on my top 10.
21. All right.
Hey, I have another 50 I could have put on here because I love them so much. I mean,
You know what's funny about that song
could have made mine.
and some of these others? I think a lot of people always think that it was just Eliminator, where ZZ Top really changed their sound, but Cheap Sunglasses totally sounds like it could be off of Eliminator. You know,
Yeah.
like you mentioned that keyboard part in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Live too. I love that song live.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one mentioned Cheap Snake Boogie or Pearl Necklace. Those are great songs too.
TV.
I
dinners.
mentioned them, I just didn't do it.
Yeah. No, great
I'm
catalog.
finishing like that.
Yeah, Blue Jean Blues almost made my list. Cocoa Blue, Balinese, Whiskey and Mama. So many good ones. Arrested for Driving Blind. I love that one.
Mhm.
Brown Sugar was my number 11.
Thug. I wanted to put Thug on there. Thug is really interesting. It's a really different song for them. Very keyboard, but it's just a really ominous song. I love Thug.
What's strange to me is I think this is their best album, and yet it's not on Spotify. It's the only ZZ Top album that's not on Spotify. Don't ask me why. No.
And it's not on this either.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Was there some licensing thing going on with that record or what? Does anybody know? I don't know. But, well, guys, it was a great time. As always, had fun. RIP, Dusty Hill.
Oh, I wanted to mention something about DeGuello. You know they all play saxophone on this?
Really?
Did not know that.
No
DeGuello?
kidding.
Yeah, it says Billy Gibbons, baritone sax, Dusty Hill, tenor sax, and Frank Beard, alto sax on there.
Wow, they're almost like Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's had a lot of sax.
But this is my back. I'm interested. Is that the inner sleeve, Aaron?
Yeah, there they are with them.
Yeah, they hadn't fully grown out their beards yet. They weren't like down to their navel yet, but very cool.
I think that's the only picture I've ever seen with Frank Beard with a beard too.
Yeah, that is
He has
true.
a mustache.
Despite his namesake, yeah. Gary, how expensive are those sunglasses you're wearing?
They're cheap.
These are cheap sunglasses.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, when I saw them in concert, they were selling cheap sunglasses and the keychain. I bought the keychain and lost it. I was so bad. I was depressed for months when I lost my ZZ Top keychain, the logo, you know, like they had in the videos.
Yeah.
I was like 15. I loved that thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Another good time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you, Steve, Chris, and Aaron. All right.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.